picking up information from just the Cohen member and the Manafort memo. You're getting this thing. There's people coming in from the dark, from Moscow, who want to connect with Russia, create some synergy with his campaign. And then, of course, this financial thing that went all the way through. According to Cohen, it never stopped. And that's in the filing today. The campaign never caused the money-making effort on the part of the Trump people to stop.
Yeah, and Mueller also revealed something else really interesting about Trump's interest in fomenting a relationship with Vladimir Putin during the campaign. He revealed that Trump and Michael Cohen were having conversations in the fall of 2015 about reaching out to the Kremlin to try to connect Trump and Putin while Putin was in New York for the UN General Assembly in September of 2015. So that indicates that whether or not Trump at that point was pursuing the Trump Tower Moscow deal, there seemed to have been an interest on his part to get in touch with Vladimir Putin that early on in the campaign, which is absolutely remarkable. I mean, he had just announced a couple months earlier that he was running for president, and now he's eager to meet with Vladimir Putin. One of the first world leaders he's eager to meet with is Putin. I mean, that just raises so many questions in and of itself. And then, of course, the fact that not 2 months later you have another Russian offering to, make this connection between Trump and Putin is also extremely suspicious. But I have to agree with David here. I think that the most pivotal point in that Mueller filing about Michael Cohen is the fact that he has information related to the core of the investigation. Does that have to do, for example, with, Michael Cohen potentially going to Prague to pay off Russian hackers, as the Steele dossier said? Remember, the Steele dossier put Cohen at the center of these efforts of potential conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia. So I think that right there just means that there's so much more left to Cohen's cooperation, even though the Southern District of New York is very unhappy with the extent to which he's cooperated with them, which may indicate that Cohen is more reluctant perhaps to throw people associated with the Trump organization under the bus. He does not seem to be shy about detailing the efforts between Trump and the rest of the campaign to coordinate with the Russians during 2016.
Thank you, Natasha. Let me get back to Ken. It seems to me that was the wall too high to climb in terms of criminality? In other words, as much as Cohen tried to help nail Trump, as much as he tried to help on the Russia front, the business end and the other contact, the synergism, all that stuff, it wasn't enough to make up for his own crimes. So he's still going to have the book thrown at him. Or is he still able to climb up that wall and get out of this thing?
I think it's not about that he didn't give them Trump, because he clearly did. Look, if Donald Trump wasn't the president and was able to be indicted, remember, Justice Department policy says you can't indict a sitting president, it's pretty clear that he would be the target of an investigation about illegal campaign donations related to these payments of women, based on what Cohen has given them. Now, I think he didn't get the deal because he refused to answer questions about his past criminal dealings. And, there's been rumors about ties to organized crime. Who knows why he didn't want to answer questions about certain things. He's had a long and colorful business history. But I just want to go back to one thing that Natasha and David were just saying. Donald Trump, in his first presidential news conference, was asked 5 times whether he was aware that of any campaign officials or himself personally was in touch with the Russian government or Russian officials, and he flatly denied it. And this footnote that you've been referring to in this Mueller document completely refutes that. It says that he conferred with Michael Cohen about reaching out to the Russian government. We shouldn't forget that. I know we're used to Donald Trump not telling the truth, but this is a major deal. He adamantly denied any ties to Russia, and these documents suggest that there was outreach to Russia, and that Michael Cohen has told the special counsel a lot about it.
How much underworld possibility is there here? Because we talked a couple of days ago about Manafort. And somebody brilliantly said, there are things worse. I think it was Susan Page. There are things worse than life imprisonment. And if you got to deal with the Ukrainian pro-Russian people in Ukraine, these are frightening people. If there's a Michael connection with the mob, there are frightening possibilities to everything in your life. Does that make sense to you, Ken? Because you just alluded to it. Is there a notion that these guys have a darker context in which they have to survive?
Well, in terms of Manafort, I've always resisted that idea because the Russian mob, the Russian government mob-connected people don't tend to bump off Americans in the United States. But he may be worried about it. You can't discount it. With Cohen, I think it's a little darker situation, and we're not clear about his past business ties and who he's got relationships with in New York. And I'm not discounting that could be a motivation for him, because it's really strange. Like, why would you not? You're cooperating with Robert Mueller. You're telling him everything he wants to know, but you won't answer basic questions from the Southern District of New York. You won't even meet with them about your past criminal history, and they're going to throw the book at you and put you in prison. Why? What is he covering up?
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.